Guys, this is a big one.
Yeah, this was
First time we missed the podcast in
the 2 weeks that
2 weeks that we've been doing this. But this is serious.
Yeah.
I thought if we missed the podcast, it would be because someone died. But it was close.
Yeah, well, I think it's better that we went quiet during that period and just didn't post anything. We shouldn't have. The attention should have been.
What I was going to say was, I
issue.
thought when it first came up, I thought that we would choose not to because, like, we couldn't. You know, I mean, we would choose not to because it was the wrong thing to do. But we ended up all being so busy, like actually pulling through and like actually helping that we actually couldn't. Like,
There's just no time
there was no time at all.
whatsoever. Yeah.
Well, you guys pulled through. You guys went and did some community service. And
Well, I got sent like 20 pictures of you in a bulletproof jacket.
Yeah. I think you were doing your own.
Just parking like that. This is the face.
Yeah.
Bulletproof jacket.
I'm ready.
Yeah. I'm ready. Yeah. So I think first, like, I know we got quite a few streams in America, so I guess Jace has to explain it because it's a lot more serious than most people
and
thought.
also,
It came in hot. That's the thing. Like, just because it faded quick doesn't mean that change shouldn't have happened or
It
like
came
something
in so hot.
Yeah. It was literally like a joke. A few memes went around and then boom, like hectic.
So even on Sunday, we went to Watercrest Mall, which was one of the biggest targets. And as we were leaving, we were pulling out, and two guys were standing in the intersection.
Dude, we were the first in the, like, we were at the stop street, like watching the first like log getting thrown in the road with the tire. The first, bro. There was nothing happening.
From a looter.
From the two guys, bro.
Two guys.
Exactly.
We watched them do it, and as we were leaving, I just said to Mike, you know, in South Africa, this is pretty commonplace. It's just a Sunday. You see guys burning tires in the street. Shit just happens like that. But
a lion runs past and takes one.
Yeah, you never know what might happen. No, but on a serious note, like, it does happen where there's small protests.
But not up this side.
No, I'm saying you sort of brush it off. It seldom, but it does. And so we sort of brushed it off like, oh, yeah, it's just one of those things. And we got up for gym on Monday morning, and we went through and everyone
this was it. That wasn't...
That was Sunday.
But I'm saying this is how it happened, was that like places got robbed or something at that time. And the story was on Monday morning was they just used it as a distraction. The whole like thing of freeing Zuma and all of that as a distraction to rob Watercrest Mall. That was it. Like, that's all we heard was just to rob Watercrest Mall. They used it as that's what we heard.
That was the bottle store next door at Link Hills.
Yeah. So it was like a big distraction just for there. And then it just like escalated real fast. Like it turned into, there's no distraction. It was all country's distraction.
It wasn't just Watercrest.
Yeah.
So just one big distraction.
Yeah. For those that don't really know, obviously our past president had some minor indiscretions with people and has some corruption allegation charges against him, and
just allegations, get that right.
Allegations until things have been proven, and
innocent until proven guilty. Just so we have that clear.
And then he was basically going through court proceedings and refused to show up to a court judge adjudicated appearance, and so he got held in contempt of court, which basically means he was sentenced to, I think it's like a year and a half or just under
15 months.
Yeah, in jail. And so for whatever reason, people decided that he should be free, and so rioting ensued basically in his name to free him. The actors that sort of started it all, no one really fully knows. But
this is where we can have our opinion. This is where the chat's come in.
Yeah, it will be an assumption. Whatever we say, it will just have to be assumption.
Everything is just off the top of our heads.
One thing that's not assumed is that it did start with the purpose of freeing him. That's how everything kicked off. It was free Zuma.
So what, were they upset with the fact that he didn't get given a proper trial? But I mean, he chose to not appear.
No, they just, honestly, it was, hey, our savior and our
but what was
whatever
their story?
Is going to,
what were they upset about? Is it the fact that he had gone?
He's given, so like he's like Zulu. So like he's this guy that all of the Zulus respected, and now like their leader, who they voted for,
because he backs them.
Yeah, he gave them a T-shirt once, and now they have to believe in him. Now their leader's going to jail for charges that are pretty much for taking money away from them. So they are in their predicament because of him, and now they must get him out again so he can carry on stealing from them.
Sounds like brainwash to me.
Exactly.
See, look, it is a tough one because
we don't know shit. To be honest, we have to say it. We don't know shit.
Let's get this clear. I know very little about politics, and I enjoy it that way. Like, I think I should.
Jason knows a lot, and then we discuss it. That's the thing. Like, he's the and then we have a discussion. Me from the outside, and him from knowing what the media is throwing at you. But then you can always have your opinion because media is obviously governed by whoever the fuck governs it. Like, it can be governed by whoever. Like, it's money driven. So they always try to blow up a story to get a bit more traction and get a bit more views. Same as anyone else's clickbait. You know what I mean? So we are open to have our opinion because we can see past that. We're not just sheep. You know what I mean? We're not the masses, I guess. So that's why we can have one, but it doesn't mean anyone has to believe shit.
Yeah. But I think the most important thing out of all of this is, from what we've heard, is that it was never intended to be this extreme from this amount of people, It was intended to cause disruption, but I think it bandwagoned when people jumped on. And
I think anyone who thinks that they didn't anticipate for it to get this big is retarded, because you can surely understand that if people are going to go and start looting a place with the amount of poverty, like I said to you, you spend 19 years living in a shack and see the frustration that might build because you feel that your government's done you an injustice.
But also, it's straight after this 2-year lockdown. They literally had the people who might have had a really low paying job and just getting through, they were probably happy with it. And then lockdown happened and now they don't have that job anymore. I mean, the person that was earning minimum wage, that was paying for a gardener once a month, you know what I mean? That guy can't afford a gardener during the whole of 18 months. Now that guy goes just doing an odd job there. Now he gets this opportunity with 200 of the guys around him saying guys, we're just going to go grab all the food we can. And then it turns into the guy next door who doesn't have a fridge, and now he's listen, they're going into a flipping game. I'm going to get a fridge out of this.
But that's what I say, with the amount of poverty, it was going to happen.
I think there was so many contributing factors in terms of there was poverty, and then as Mark said, I mean, we just got stuck into another lockdown as it happened, and something as small as a car guard now loses out on money because there's not people out on the road, so you're not looking after their cars.
Imagine the car guard at a nightclub, bro. Imagine the car guard outside at a nightclub who only gets that for the week, you know what I mean? There's no more nightclubs, so what is he gonna go do? I mean, it is inevitable, but it was just shooting themselves in the foot. The government was they didn't plan for this. They did one too many rollouts.
Do you think it was an orchestrated economic destruction, as they like to call it?
In my opinion, 100%. And I think a lot of it is, and like I say, this is just conjecture, but our ruling party is very divided. It has been for a while. There's been serious fractures there and infighting, and it creates a serious issue because, if, for example, the one quarter or the one side wants to go and causes disruption, the other side, if they start to fight back against them, that other side is going to think, oh, you're fighting against your own people, we're not going to vote for you. And it's going to divide even further.
It's very strategic.
So it's more than we could ever understand. But one thing that we do understand is it was...
But you don't have to understand it to see what they plain... it was clear to see what was going on. They were very clear. In any other situation, you would have fired bullets. You know what I mean? They demolished a whole mall. They demolished huge factories that are costing thousands of jobs. All of those. If one person broke in, you shoot to kill. A policeman goes and sees a guy with a weapon, that guy's dead. But now, because it's the masses, the exact masses that vote for the same party, they can't fire. Because then that's ammunition for the one half of the party to say, they did this, now you can put us in power.
SAPS is also ANC owned.
Well, it's a government.
ANC owned. It's government. Government.
That's
what I'm saying. Is if the SAP's shot, the government would be blamed.
Not ANC owned, but they do get to decide a big portion of what the SAPS is allowed to do, right?
No, that's exactly. That's the pecking order.
So the delay in response to what was going on, that then do you think was a part of?
Look,
I wouldn't say delay. I think it was just urgency. It's not as serious. They can say whatever.
I think it was also lack of resources. Yeah. I mean, we say SAPS, and I guarantee there's a lot of SAPS people out there that were working tirelessly.
Yeah, that
you know,
just
that didn't
outnumbered.
sleep, and there just wasn't enough, you know, resources to get
No
it
one
done.
could have prepared for that intensity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we can't downplay the impact that this has had on many people's lives, especially in our, you know, immediate area. Just up the road from where we live is probably one of the worst hit places, next to probably Pietermaritzburg and Alexandra. Those are probably like the three main.
But
High
one
neighbor
thing we
losses,
did
actually.
see was how good this is for the community afterwards, because I don't think so many people realize how much power we have. Like, first it was like government like has all the power, like they control everything, and now you can clearly see that they don't. Like, we were able to go stop it ourselves. Like, they were just, I mean, it was so well orchestrated. Like, it was literally like the weirdest shit, bro.
Yeah.
Just groups just popped up like this, and everyone knew their time slots to go blockade like a certain road, and like everything. Like, we went for a drive like what, Monday night,
When it was all kicking off.
when it was kicking off, right? And we were doing like a patrol. We went to Hillcrest, we went to Waterfall, and every single road that was surrounding a neighborhood had blockades. Like, every single road. We heard they were coming up the train tracks. Every single road along a train track had like 20 guys there with a fire and all armed. Like, that was not police or government orchestrated. That was literally just neighborhood watch just pulling through. And like afterwards, like how quickly it got cleaned up. Like, I mean, we rocked up to the one cleanup, and I'm thinking we're going to be there till like 6 at night. We were there at like 8 in the morning. I'm telling you, 2Ks of this road was cleaned in an hour, bro. Not a flipping... I read it's never been cleaner in its whole life. Like, ever.
What was so awesome is some guy just brings this huge truck and he just parks and he says, guys, whatever
Chuck
you
it in.
have, throw in the back of my truck. I'll just go dump it for you guys. You know,
nice.
people were just doing that kind of stuff. And
Crazy.
It's so incredible, because I sort of made a post about this, was during COVID, you look at everyone, someone stands too close to you, giving them like a side eye, you're like, don't come near me. You know, someone has his bra and you're like, oh, look at those neighbors, look at them screwing everything up. The whole sense of community was just shattered.
And now you realize there's things more important than that.
Yeah.
Like, there's way more important things in worrying about the guy looking over your shoulder. You know
For
what
a
I mean?
year and a half, all we've been doing is looking at each other like, you could just cause danger to me. And now you're looking at someone like, you could be my savior. And it's so awesome to see that kind of community.
Yeah, and
reestablish.
everyone asking to help. Like, bro, on all these groups, it's just like, when's the next cleanup? Like, I heard this one on Saturday. I heard this one. What can I do? Like, where do I need to be? Like, and it's like 100 messages. Like, just people wanting. It's not just like, no one needs to be told. It's like they actually just want to go, because now no one has a job. Like, most people don't have work, so they got to do something, and they choose to like go be. They could have said, like, I read 99% of communities would have said, like, this is in their area. They caused the mess. Like, it's up to them to clean it up. We went into the area that caused the shit and realized that, I mean, everyone just didn't have to say it, but realized that it's only a minority that caused the actual shit.
100%.
And the rest had to suffer. Like, you hear my maid say, like, her husband and her son were just crying while all of this were going on, because they realized, like, they can't just go get food. They can't go.
They lost their jobs.
They lost their jobs. Like, it's terrifying. And like, you realize, like, that's 3 people that I know there right off the bat. Like, there's thousands that literally were hiding in their homes while the idiots were running around doing it.
Media definitely didn't cover the right numbers at all.
No.
I'm pretty sure that a lot of people would agree on that, in terms of the number of jobs lost, people affected, and the number of people that were killed during this incident as well.
No, for sure. And I think one thing that needs to be said, because especially for international viewers, it might get skewed in the reporting. This was not a race thing.
Yeah, no, not at all.
In any stretch of the imagination, this was not a race thing.
No, I did a post about this.
Yeah.
And I said it's an education thing.
Without a
It
doubt.
really is. And it's using the uneducated as putty. It's like how easy, I mean, it's in every single country. It's the uneducated can be molded and guided in any direction you want when you need votes, because they are the majority. You can't mold and shape the minority, the educated and the wealthy, because they've got there because they don't listen to the rules. You know what I mean? So like, it is a uneducated verse, or even just people who want better. Like, those are people who don't. They're just happy where they are, and they just need something to feel a part of. They don't have anything to feel a part of. So they just latch onto this need to like support something.
Yeah.
It's like a soccer fan.
Also,
no offense
when
to
that
soccer
leader,
fans, but
when that leader is also they will try purposely during that marketing of their campaign, they will try and say, I'm speaking to you, so that they feel that they are part of that, you know, but they will purposely say, I'm speaking to you, who hasn't got an opportunity, who feels like the system's failed them, you know, which is also just bullshit. In my opinion.
But like everyone, as it was happening, it was a race thing. Like that's how it felt to everyone, even like to every single group, you know. And the only time you really saw it wasn't was when everyone came out to fix it, and it was just equal.
Is everyone's phones on silent?
Yes.
Joshua.
The way that people came together showed that it was not race. You walk alongside of people from every race, ethnicity, every background there. People were driving trucks of food down to help it just turned into, how can we help you? You know, it was so awesome to see people coming. I mean, I've never witnessed something like that in my life. I was so downtrodden when everything was going on. It was hectic. You hear there's a shootout on the bridge, like, you know, where Michael's mom stays, and we're trying to rush over there so she's safe. All these things start rushing through your head, and it's so strenuous.
Did you think there was going to be a war?
At a certain stage, like, it seemed like that. I mean, when you hear like I said, like Jace just said, like my mom's road, like there's a shootout there and we head over there just so that we're all in the same house. Like that's hectic. And when there's no like media covering what's actually going on right now where you are, like and as fast as that switch happened from us being at the mall to suddenly a mall's being demolished, and like places burning down, factories of like thousands burning down, and how fast that happened in 2 days. What, like, your mind says, like, what could happen in 1 week? You know what I mean? If they orchestrated that in 2 days, what could they do in 1 week? Like, we next. You know what I mean?
I'd seen screen recordings of this one guy that had tweeted about it, and it was a video recording of the WhatsApp groups that they were making, and it was like titled eThekwini shutdown or whatever, and that was being planned from like the 8th of July. I'd seen. So I think that they had a little bit of time. I mean, in terms of the damage that was made in the time planned, it was crazy. Yeah, I do agree.
It was forewarned. They did tell people. That's why on Monday there wasn't many cars on the road. They did tell people they were going to shut it down.
They just didn't expect the pushback.
Well, there was supposed to be an actual protest with signs. It was, and that never happened. We didn't see one sign.
No, it just went straight to just
tires, TVs, and fridges. No signs
in that order.
That's the episode. That's the name of the episode. Tires, TVs, and fridges.
But I think it also, as much as it ruined people's faith in humanity, and I think a lot of people are still struggling with it, and maybe they haven't seen, you know, some of the positives that came out of it, but it also restored humanity to a lot of people. It made you feel things that you haven't probably felt for a while. I mean,
well, we just lived, like I said, we've lived through 2 historical events in our life, and not many people can say that. Like, we've lived through an international event that I read for the next 100 years. It's not going to happen again. This is like warfare that comes down to another round of this.
Don't play these chances, please.
I didn't want to say it out loud, but you know what I mean. Just picture it, but no. And then we lived through like this national historic event. Like this will go down in some books. You know what I mean?
This was history, and people ask me, you know, how has it been? People that don't live here anymore. You can't explain it. When you're driving around and you're seeing people putting up barricades, carrying around guns, people that you know, your friends.
And it was so weird how normal it felt, even though it hadn't happened before.
Yeah.
Like, you always think, like, you see it in a movie and you're like, wow, cool. But like, when it happens and it's actually happening, it didn't feel that like far off normal life.
Yeah.
Like, it was, we had to keep sitting, and we kept on sitting and being like, what the fuck is actually going on? Like, if I had to tell myself that this is happening 6 months ago, I'd be like, what the fuck?
It was.
Did you see that? I wanted to bring this up. Did you see that Australian? I don't know what broadcast it was, but there was an Australian news company that had covered this whole thing. Did you see it? Did you see it on Facebook? So I was so impressed. So like, out of all the media that had gone on about this, and I mean, I'm sure so many South Africans were busy trying to say like, you're not relaying the real story. You're busy, saying exactly what they want you to say and this and that. But this Australian media outlet really covered like in depth the real shit that's going on. I saw this last night. I was actually going to tag you in it, and I was like, this is insane. And he said, so this guy who was the presenter, he said, I've got 2 South African friends who now live in Australia. And he said, and both of them have come to me and said that the corruption starts from the bottom right up to the top of that country. Yeah. So he's had South African friends explain. And so that's why he's also gone out, and I'll put this out, and I mean, that's gone all over Australia. He's really digging down to the reason of why he's going to the actual reason of where this began. You have to go to the start, and find out where it began. But they are starting to really put the actual message of what was going on, and the corruption, and the this, and the that. Not just
surprised it didn't get bigger there quicker, because there's so many bloody South Africans there.
So, but I think so many people also just turned a blind eye. People that live there think, "Oh, I got out of that country," and just turned a blind eye.
Speaking about turning a blind eye, with certain influences in the country and that, I know you follow a lot of them. How did you see a lot of them?
So I did a post and it got some good traction. I think everyone noticed it when it gets pointed out to you. But I saw a few. I mean, and you only notice it because you see how much people post about Black Lives Matter was an international movement, and that would have affected everyone. And everyone hopped on, and everyone posted that little black post on their little black square on their thing. And that was great. But this was a chance to literally do exactly what that movement was all about in our own country that's directly affecting everyone. And no one started anything like that. Yeah. Not
Cape
one
Town
influencer.
really thought that they were a separate country.
They really
thought
fucked up.
that they're living in a separate country.
I did not. Honestly, I saw a single post about it was a cool video to share. You know what I mean? That's literally all it was. And then it was, I'm going to use an example. Like one girl was like, how shit is this? Like, Mr. Price, I'm so unimpressed. I ordered this thing and you're not replying and blah, blah, blah. And there's fucking chaos going on in half the country.
Look out your window.
She's posted 3 in a row saying Mr. Price screenshotting their replies they said 12 o'clock, it was 11:57. 3 minutes before they're supposed to reply, she's fucking out about it. And there's people dying, you know what I mean?
Sorry, baby girl, your shit was looted.
Yeah, just looted. But just stuff like that. And people literally are following these people and looking up to them. And now you wonder why they have influence, because they are not influential at all, and they're not influencing people in the right way. They had a platform that they've built to be able to do good, supposedly, and all of them preach all this shit. And now it turns out they've only latched onto all these other movements because it was international and cool to be a part of it. And now that they can actually be held accountable for something, they don't do it. Now that if they posted something, that means they'd have to do something. Yeah. Because in the past, you post BLM and hashtag all of that, you didn't actually have to go out and physically get your hands dirty. Yeah. You know what I mean? You didn't have to, because all that was, hey, I'm contributing and I can carry on. I can keep shopping at Mr. Price and go to Zara tomorrow. You know what I mean? But now, if you do post enough, people will be like, well, are you actually going and doing anything? And they're going to have to say no, because they're not interested in actually helping. They just want to post about it and whoop-de-doo, I'm cool. You know what I mean? I'm saving the planet. I post about saving the turtles. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's the same people that were also, here's a new diet. Guys, you should really be healthy. Eat this. It'll be good for your body. And you're thinking, what would be good for my body is if you bloody helped us sort out our lives. Yeah. People are dying. People can't eat. And you're still sitting there on your average day posting about your diet.
It's because they'll only post about it when it starts affecting them. In Cape Town, for example, they didn't have any food shortages, so they didn't feel the need to post about it. But I guarantee you,
when Cape Town had a drought, it was the biggest thing for the whole country. Yeah. Everyone came together. Everyone was posting about it. Everyone was trying to figure out a way to solve their problem. You know what I mean? Every single place was trying to solve it, right? But when everywhere else but them is going through hell, no one posted about it. I swear I saw 2 of them actually punt it, and one of them was trying to be Miss SA, so it's just a hoax anyway. You know what I mean? It's just lies. You know what I mean? She wouldn't normally do it. Yeah. So
it's difficult though, but it's not
it's
everyone.
It's not difficult though. It really was like that. I've seen.
It's difficult in terms of there's 2 ways to look at it. The one way is, if you're, for example, if you're an artist and your brand that you've built is all around music, let's say, then you do tend to maybe say, do I stay out of politics? Okay. But if you're just an influencer that literally you just post pics in branded bikinis, but then
let's say you are that artist, right? Then let's say you are that artist. If you're South African, you have you have a moral obligation
100%.
to post about it. If you ever want to tell anyone in your future that you are South African, if you want to literally detach from South Africa and fuck off to America and never be, I didn't come from South Africa. Trevor Noah. Then don't post about it.
Don't claim to be South African anymore.
Trevor Noah's not South African.
Enjoy your new country.
Yeah, enjoy it.
You get the influencers on Instagram, and they just bikini models doing shoots for bikini brands and this clothing brand and this clothing brand. Like that is their brand that they've kind of built. And to me, that's not the same as like an actor or an artist. Just saying.
Let's talk about Trevor Noah a bit. Like, just your opinions. Because it's something that, like,
I think he's such a coward,
like, is he just waiting because now he has to put together the right story?
It does nothing for him to post about this. He only posts about us winning a fucking World Cup, and that's it. This does no good for him to say, I come from South Africa, because it makes it look like a shithole.
It's not that he's planning a post.
I don't know about
because
that.
while this was all going down, he said he posted up a video saying, my new tour dates in America, this is that.
So he doesn't want to distract people from that.
because he's busy doing something else.
But do you think maybe he's... No. Do you think maybe, like, I thought about this as well, is when you told me about him posting about those dates, right? Like, he's probably working for a group that is running his tour, right? And he has a signed contract with them that says you will lose out on $10 million or something along those lines. America's all law and everything's in writing that says...
But then if that is his contract and he knows that it's about money, he's just as corrupt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I get that. But I'm saying that is a big thing. And you don't know exactly, but I'm just saying, like, normally he does hop on things, and this is a trend that he could have got popping. It would have helped him in a good way. It definitely would have. And it would have made his character seem way up there.
We might see a joke from him made about it.
That's what I'm saying, is he's waiting to crack a good one.
He's waiting for all the shit to go down.
And he's like, law.
The thing is, though, he only got there because South Africa cared enough about him.
We
pushed him up, and then when we needed him, he wasn't there.
Nah,
and not just him. There's a lot of people. There's so many people, sportsmen, that we look up to, and every other thing we think, oh, they're such a good representation of our country, and then we push them up, and when we need them most, they're not there to lend their hands back.
The biggest sportsmen in the country, like the people with the biggest platforms, I saw like one post on their story with a flag saying like, pray for South Africa. No, I'm trying to get, like, everything about this is like the story you push across to the rest of the world. You need to explain what's going on. You've got this following for a reason. I mean, even Cape Town, like, I'm telling you, half of those sportsmen and influence and all of that from the rest of the country, right, should have been trying to push the correct story across to people that weren't directly influenced, so that maybe Cape Town could have seen how serious it was and posted more. Yeah. And if no one did that, then they wouldn't post. And then you'd have a reason for them not posting. But some of these people that had these big platforms in SA were just saying like, hey, pray for SA, he has a flag for like a whole week. That's all they had. And like they had...
But yet friends who are overseas were putting up on their
sharing
stories,
shit.
Can I send money back?
Yeah, no.
Let me know.
And sharing all these things.
Yeah.
Like, I saw this post that was like, my English friend asked me about the thing and I didn't really know how to explain, and then it goes off on this big story, and it's like, those are people that aren't even in the country.
Yep.
They're caring more than the people in the country. Like,
but you know what? Maybe it was meant to be, because now people know who they should be following and who they shouldn't be following.
Only if they
what
care
isn't
to
just
recognize
unfollow
that.
everyone who didn't post about this.
Not even. It's
Trevor Noah.
It's just it should highlight to people what real value is. You know, when all the cards are down, does someone posting about a bikini really impact your life?
Yeah.
Does that person, that their facade, does it really influence you? They're offering no value. And I mean, just in our general social media, the way we conduct ourselves, the way we speak to people, the way we show gratitude, it should show us, you know, there's more to life than what we've just been seeing. When everything burns up in flames, there's only a few things that remain, and that's what we felt, and that's from those people that we felt. And you connected with people that you never thought you would, and they offered some advice or some respite, or, you know, just some positivity. Someone said to me, I can't do a whole lot because I think they were either injured or sick. They said, I can't really help out. And I said, then just be positive, because so many people are battling right now with their mental health. Just being that positive beacon is even enough.
Even just sitting there and sharing is enough. Like, you're gonna poke someone into going and helping out. You know what I mean? Like, if you see a friend that is going and helping out, share that story. Just share it. And someone else will see, oh, just an average Joe went and cleaned up this place, and you might inspire that.
Like, it doesn't end with you, so don't think that like posting about it is going to fix anything. No, but it's social media. There's a ripple effect.
Well,
you know,
just like how it caused the flipping riots. Like, it is just a snowball effect.
But it's always, why me? Why me? But why not you? You know, if it's not you, who else is going to do it?
100%.
And that's.
But there was that one thing you posted. If somebody spills,
I said, if someone spills a drink in your house, and you don't clean it, fucking left with sticky floors.
Yeah.
You can be spiteful. You can say, "Oh, that arsehole spilled the drink."
Exactly.
Okay,
But
I'll
who
just-
suffers?
I'll just leave it.
Who suffers?
Yeah, all of us will.
Yeah.
And so take some responsibility. You think, "Oh, it's not my fault." Doesn't make a difference. Take some bloody responsibility.
Yeah.
Do something about it. You can't sit there and complain and do nothing about it. It might not be your fault. Half the time it isn't your fault, but just take some bloody responsibility with everything. It's not just about the country. It's about your life. It's about business. It's about things that fail, relationships that fail. Just take some bloody responsibility and do something about it. Don't just sit there in a corner, "Oh, woe is me," or, "Oh, fate might work out," or "This is what the universe had in store." Fuck that. You make something,
Yeah.
It's that quote that says, if you don't look within, if you don't figure out yourself, you'll just leave everything up to chance and call it fate. So, if that goes wrong, oh no, it is what it is meant to be. Because you didn't care to put in the effort to put the structures in place to stop it or to help it, Start adding value to your own lives and to other people's lives. That's what this has shown me more than anything. And I made a post about it again the other day. I really did not like social media. You guys know more than anyone. I hated it. I used to say, I hate this. I hate posting. It's just facade. I don't care about people's facade lives. They don't care about mine. It's not the real me. My post can be all happy and jolly when I could be depressed. It means fuck all. And so I've decided to instead start trying to add value, to be real, to give people thoughts, ideas, to show my true self. And I think that's what people need to start latching onto now more than ever.
Definitely.
We have social media and we always see it as, oh, it's just, this is the beast that it is. But what can it be? And I said,
Depends what you do with it.
but what changed my mind is I used to think, oh, this is what everyone's doing with it, that's why it's bad. Instead of going, oh, this is what everyone's doing with it. What can I do with it to make it good? And that's
how you should look at everything.
You changed my mind a lot the other day when you said people worry too much because at the end of the day, the people that, criticize, they're not even going to be there.
Yeah.
And I used to, oh, maybe I don't want to talk about that, or I don't want to be my true self because someone might judge. I have those feelings.
But those people don't matter.
They don't matter.
They don't matter.
And it
Because
changed my
we've
whole
noticed,
perspective.
every single person worth having around is only going to bring good.
Yeah.
They can only say good about your things. And the things that they say bad are only to make it
To help
better.
you out.
Yeah.
For the betterment of
And
the
we've learned to do it for long enough, and your group does get bigger. Like the people around you that think the same,
It's
do
awesome.
get, you find them easier when you put yourself out there and you do these risky things that you love. And you put, when it happens, those people that join in are way better than the people that would have stuck around when you were just hiding what you actually want to do.
People always ask, how do you guys have so many people that do so many things, or such good friends, or people that push you, or like in business? And we choose to surround ourselves with those people. It's not
But
like
we've also learned to just speak.
Yeah.
Like just say whatever it is you want to do. Don't be scared. If someone thinks that idea is too big, they're the wrong people to hang around. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah. Like when you hear, we had friends come over the other day with a business idea, and they said something that other people might have laughed or thought was wrong. And they said that they want to have this thing be the biggest in the world. And like, it just seems so normal to us to just be like, that is so sick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't see it not happening. But like, if you start off by saying like, hey, we just want to make this cool, it needs to be really great. Like, it's not going to go anywhere. And what we've learned is like, that's how we think. It's just got to be the biggest in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, that's what we've surrounded. How many people can say that they know someone that would even say something like that? Not many people. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Shoot for the moon, and if you don't, you'll land somewhere amongst the stars. You didn't want to say it. You didn't want to say it, Mark.
Okay, we're done. Are we done?